Okay, in this video I'm going to go over a couple of different Bluetooth iPad keyboards. These are both for the iPad Air 2. They sell flavors for other different types of iPads, but I have an iPad Air 2, so these are the two keyboards that I was going over. The first one I got was this Anker, and there was a couple of things I didn't like about it, so then I bought this Favormates Bluetooth keyboard, and there were some things I didn't like about that, so I'm going to kind of go over the things I liked and didn't like about both of them, and then tell you which one I ended up deciding to keep. So to start, let's go over the Anker keyboard first. Like I said, that's the box that it comes into, and I'm going to pop this into my Bluetooth keyboard here. It says my iPad Air 2. It just slides in like this, just basically takes in. I was worried that wouldn't hold it well enough, but it actually holds it really, really well. It just slides in there just like that, and I think I just put it in backwards. Yes, I did. So you gotta make sure, because of the camera, just slide it in the right way. Slide it in there, and it holds it in there really firmly. And the way this one works is it's a nice folio. It's kind of like a leatherish type of folio, and it's got a little magnet that keeps it closed, so it kind of closes like that. It's got the magnet so that it'll automatically open when you open it. It is the kind of keyboard that it's got this little magnet strip here, so that when you put your iPad there like that, it holds it in place. And the Bluetooth connects automatically. It works great. The keyboard layout itself is actually really good, but there's one big disadvantage of this Bluetooth keyboard, and that is the viewing angle. It has a fixed viewing angle of about 110 degrees. So to be able to use this and look directly at the screen, you need to have it about, let's see, I am about 20 inches from the screen. Now I'm looking directly at the screen. I'm in a regular height chair at a regular height table, and to get directly look at the screen, I got to be about 20 inches away, which is not great. I would rather have it at maybe about this close, which is maybe about, let's see, that's 14 inches from me, but the angle of the screen would have to be like that, and there's no way to get that on this keyboard. So that's the disadvantage. To really, if you want to get a good direct look at the keyboard, it really needs to be that far away, which is kind of a drag. Other than that, the keyboard is actually laid out nice, and the big advantage of this keyboard itself is that it has two regular size shift keys, which I will go into why that's important on the other keyboard. The other really nice thing about this case is that because it's more like a regular case you'd have for an iPad, you can flip it over and use it in landscape mode, and it works great in landscape mode, just as like it's a regular case, like there's no keyboard even on there, which is awesome. The other cool thing is that a lot of times I use my iPad or my car. I'll kind of hang it over my steering wheel while, just do some things while I'm trying to kill some time. I just kind of take this, flip it over the steering wheel. It kind of sits in the car like that, and it works great. Awesome. So the big disadvantage of this one was that weird viewing angle. I don't know why. I guess there was just no other way of doing it. It's got that 110 degree viewing angle. Let me just show you what that viewing angle looks like. So it's roughly there. So roughly about 110 degrees. So not great. Okay, so there's the Anker keyboard. Now let's move that to the side. We are going to grab the Favormates keyboard, and let's pull the iPad out of the other one. It really is in there pretty solid. I was worried that it would come out easily, but it's jammed in there. So here's the Favormates, and we'll pop that in there real quickly. So again, the camera's got to be on that side. You just take it and it snaps it in there, and boom, that's in, just like that. It's a little harder to get out, but it goes in really nicely. So the big advantage of this keyboard, it's kind of like a mini laptop. It's all plastic, so it's not like leather like the other one, but it's all plastic, but it's very solid. It's not too heavy. It kind of feels like you just got like a little mini laptop. Just flip it open and you're good to go. It has the same feature on that. When you open it, it automatically opens your iPad. And it has a really good keyboard layout. It's got a nice big keyboard. It has an extra layer of keys on the top that on the other keyboard you have to hit function to get all those same functions. This actually has dedicated keys at the top, so it actually has an extra row of keys at the top for all those extra functions, like changing your brightness and changing your volume and play and pause and fast forward and mute and things like that. So really good. The other advantage of this keyboard is that it's got backlight, so you can turn the backlight on. You probably cannot see the backlight. Let me see if I angle it. Maybe you can kind of see it a little bit. There you go. So it's got backlight. It's got 3 different levels, and then you can change the color. Blue, green. It's really cool. So if you're in total darkness, it doesn't light the actual numbers and the keys up that well. It has kind of a little bit of light, but for total darkness, it's great. I don't generally touch type while I'm in total darkness anyways. That's really not how I probably use the keyboard. So it wasn't a deal killer for me. But here is the deal killer for me. Okay, the deal killer is the shift key. So let's say, let's go into here, and I wanted to type, and if we're hitting a capital Y, no problem. Capital I, no problem, all on this side. But if I want to hit a capital, let's say an O, I'm sorry, a capital W, I'd have to hit the W here and hit this shift key, okay? But look how tiny that shift key is. It's just this little tiny thing right here. Normal on the other keyboard, like it is over here, it's a combined area here. So I kept hitting, especially in iMessage, I kept hitting the damn page up key, which would move it all the way to the front of the to the front of the line, and it just kept them using. It just drive me nuts. If I'm writing a lengthy iMessage, back to somebody, and I would be typing, as soon as I would hit that page up on this side, then it would bring it back. Then I have to bring my finger over and move it. So that was driving me nuts. And I did it for about 2 weeks, thinking, oh, I'll get used to it. I'll just get used to hitting my my pinky way over there for that shift key, but I never could get used to it, so it was driving me nuts. So other than that, there's a lot of great advantages of this keyboard. One is the viewing angle is awesome. So you can angle it all the way. If you max it out, the viewing angle is something like 130 degrees, which is pretty awesome. That way, I could have it as close as, let's see, I can have it as close as like 12 or 13 inches, still have a great angle, still be in a comfortable place to hold my arms and type, but have it nice and close to me. Also, for the other keyboard, I have to have it out to here, and that's almost at like arm's reach for actually tapping the screen and doing things you have to do on screen with your fingers. So this has an awesome viewing angle. The problem was the shift key for me was a real bummer. The other big disadvantage of this keyboard, because of the way it's laid out to be like this little mini laptop, is that you can't really use it in landscape mode. It's really awkward having this thing. I guess you could if you kind of held it like that, but it's awkward, and it's the way it wants to flip over. It's kind of out of balance. It's really just not. You could use it in landscape mode, but it would be really weird. You really would have to like pop it out of the case if you really want to use it in landscape mode. The other way that I use my iPad a lot is I take it and I, like I said, I hang it over the steering wheel, and there's no way you can do that with this keyboard. I'd have to use another keyboard like this, or change it or something like that. I have to have 2 keyboards if I ever wanted to hang it over the the steering wheel. Sometimes, if you want to just play like a YouTube videos or something like that, you hang over the steering wheel, you're killing time, and it's at a good angle and stuff like that. And this one would work great like that, but no way you could do that with this keyboard. So the big advantage of this one was that that viewing angle is awesome, and the backlight is a key feature for some people. The bad thing about this one is that it is the shift key, and the shift key for me was a killer, and that's why this is the one that's going back. The other thing is that you can only use it in landscape mode. You can't use it in landscape mode. You can't put it over the steering wheel. So other than that, this is great. If the shift key is really not a big deal to you, then in watching it landscape and the whole steering wheel thing you don't care about, then get this one because it's solid. It's like 55 bucks. But I wish I could keep that one. I wish the shift key, I could probably even get away with it, like the whole landscape thing wouldn't bug me that much, but the shift key thing was killing me. So this is the one I'm going to stick with, is the Anker. Again, with the Anker, you know, the big advantage of this one is that it has a nice laid out keyboard with the shift key in a proper place, in a proper size. And the big thing is that, you know, you can flip it into landscape mode anytime you want just by flipping it over. Use it like your normal iPad case, and then I can still do the deal where I hang it over the steering wheel. So, and that's it. Those are the big two Bluetooth keyboards. I hope this was some help to you.